Yo, we're back, and I have Omastar. We have three fossils in a row, and I like all three of them a lot. Kabutops is fucking sick, though. I love Kabutops, but Omastar's really cool. Um, you might look at them at face value and be like, huh, this is kind of boring, and you would be right if you're referring, if boring means changed from original. In every other sense of the word, I wouldn't describe them as boring. So they are stat-wise, very little has changed. They are just much bulkier, just very solid, plus 15 in both defenses. Pretty logical buff there. There's a lot of things that kind of irk me about these guys, but that it's not really anything I can do because, hold on, let me just, eh, that's kind of off. Because something about them, how do I explain it? Like, they don't stick out as because basically what I ended up doing is I took all of the water and rock types. Obviously, like I said in other videos, I planned out literally every single Pokemon of every single type. Like, it took a long time. It took like over a week of just listing them out and talking about balancing and da 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 da, thinking about the overlap with other mons and abilities and logic and moves and stats and all that stuff. Obviously, I didn't do any of the moves or stats in depth, but I definitely decided on abilities. Um, and in that process, I looked at all the other water rock types because there is a good amount of them, and I wanted to ensure that there was no overlap and that all of them are unique. Um, so Almastar is actually unique from all of the other water rock types in that it is special attacking. The only other special water rock type being Corsola. And Corsola is not necessarily an offensive Pokemon. It's mostly just a bulky. It'll be really good, but it's not going to be nearly as strong as Omastar will be special attack wise. So Omastar is by far the strongest special attacking water rock type, which is pretty unique. Um, that being said, it still does have a decent amount of competition just in terms of the typing. However, it's still really solid. Like, it's a really solid mon, because of the way the abilities interact with its stats and its moves. So it had both of these abilities before. So the whole line already had sturdy and weak armor. Sorry, not sturdy, but the line already had weak armor. I lied about sturdy. I don't know why I thought they had sturdy for some reason. So sturdy is a big deal purely because of the setup and because of the common board times weaknesses that they have, being grass, and then they have a bunch of regular weaknesses: ground fighting and grass. They also have really good, sorry, ground fighting and electric. Actually, have really good resistances. The four times just to fire and the normal flying, ice, and poison is really solid. Um, really solid. But four times weakness to grass, all that stuff. It's nice to have sturdy, mostly for shell smash. Although sturdy is also really useful for literally anything, like literally just living a hit and being able to get some type of utility move off or an attack off is always great. That's literally never not going to be useful. Um, and your other ability is a lot more situational. In fact, there are only about 3 Pokemon currently that I planned out of all of the Pokemon that are having weak armor because the ability is actually pretty good. At one point, I had to rename it to Ancient Armor, but I was like, wait, that's kind of redundant as fuck because I originally had planned. There's mons that are getting it that I thought weak armor sounded weird on, but it actually isn't weird on them. So I just kept it for simplicity because I don't want like a redundant new ability. Like, that's literally just a slight rename. Like, there's no point. There's actual relevant new abilities that are way more important, so I didn't want to waste a slot on ancient armor. That being said, they have 2 great abilities. They do not keep Swift Swim because there's already a Water Rock type with Swift Swim. That is going to be Kabutops. You will see that in a little bit. I probably won't end up finishing them tonight unless I can't sleep. Oh, I love this music, dude. Fuck, dude. I love Civil Field so much. Oh, it makes me so happy. And kind of sad. Anyways. Damn, man. Now, like, I'm sad. I love Gen 7 music. But anyway. Yeah, they are... Oh, this team is so good. I cannot focus so much I like it. Um, they have, like I said, much better bulk. They have reliable recovery with Aqua Ring, so they can actually heal pretty reliably. But weak armor, point being, weak armor is a lot more situational than sturdy, but it's also a lot stronger potentially because with 55 base speed, each time you get hit, you get +2 speed. But any physical move, not even just contact. So, for example, you swap your fucking Omastar in on a poison jab or a fire punch, 4 times resisted fire punch, and you get a free +2 speed in exchange for a -1 defense. Which again, the cons of having weak armor are entirely negated by having infinite ability capsules because worst case you just have sturdy, which is always a great ability to have literally no matter what the situation is. So if you don't want weak armor for the battle, just don't use it. Weak armor is something that you'll be turning on as you need it. So it's very useful in that regard. Something else that's excellent you can do is that the fact that Endure is a TM means that you can use Endure with weak armor. You can actually use weakness policy Endure with weak armor sets, and you can run you can either run weakness policy or you can run like a Pataya Berry for special attack, for example. But quickly, before I get more into the strategy side of things, I want to talk about a little bit of the logic. Obviously, sturdy. I don't need to explain the logic behind sturdy or weak armor. Logically, they both make sense, and they don't overlap with the other water rocks. There will be others with Swift Swim, like I said, and others with a bunch of other really useful abilities that you might have thought these guys would want, like Solid Rock, for example, something I considered. Technically, I actually don't think any of the others have Solid Rock right now. Yeah, they actually don't anymore, but sturdy and weak armor is a lot more fun for like offensive sets. So I ended up picking that instead of Solid Rock, although Solid Rock would be useful. But I ended up choosing it also because it doesn't really make that much sense anyways, because they're not really like rock. I mean, their shell is like rocky, but they're mostly just fossils. Regardless, something important I wanted to talk about was their stats and their dex entries. So the dex entry actually talks about like how powerful their fangs are, and so also if you're wondering the logic, I'll get into actual like gameplay strength sap and how good that is for it. But logically, this is the logic. It's because they suck the life out of their prey. Kabutops will also have strength set for that very reason, although Kabutops is a lot more literal. Kabutops literally says like he drains the life out of his fluids of his prey, and it's like really fucking gross and morbid and cool. But a couple of these also allude to a couple of Omastars also allude to being able to drain the life out of the prey. But what they do talk about a lot is the sharp fangs and how powerful its fangs are and how they can break like prey shells or whatever. Omastar's sharp fangs could crush rock, etc., etc. And it also has these tentacles which it uses to fight. And so I really wanted to make it physical because it has this giant spiky shell and this nasty mouth. And I considered maybe making it a mixed attacker, you know, with like 90 base special attack, and I could have kept the 125 defense and then a slight buff to special defense, maybe 80, you know, and then I would have maybe made his speed a little bit lower naturally because you're only using a speed stat with Shell Smash or Rock Polish or Agility or Weak Armor anyways, so like it's not like 45 speed with those abilities is bad or anything. But I ended up settling on the current stuff for it because all of the other water rock types besides Corsola are physical attackers, and Omastar does not need more competition. So I figured keep Omastar unique, keep Omastar as a special attacker, despite the fact that physical attacker with strong jaw makes way more sense, and it would be cool as fuck because it could use what's it called? It could use Jagged Fangs for stab, but there's actually another Gen 1 fossil, Aerodactyl, that will have strong jaw with stab Jagged Fangs, which is really cool. And there are actually two fossil mons. The other one obviously being Tyrantrum, who is going to be a fucking monster. I'm excited for them. I love Tyrantrum. But regardless, that's a long ways away, very long ways away, because I have a feeling I got to do them in order. After Gen 7 status, I'll probably just do everything in order, just so I don't have to. I don't know. We'll see what the fuck I feel like, honestly. But I like this music too. Yeah, that's the logic. All right, so back to strategy. Weak armor is great. You can use Endure sets with weak armor. I mean, that's super free because AI is always going to go for super effective hits. So let's say you know for a fact you're fighting a grass type or I'm trainer with the grass type move. All you got to do is just slap weak armor on there, and you actually have Giga Drain to heal off damage. So you can also run that on bulk of assault sets, or you can run that on weak armor sets. So for example, you can run Sash weak armor with Rock Polish and get +4 speed in 1 turn and +1 accuracy. Or you can run Endure weak armor with Pataya Berry or Weakness Policy. Weakness Policy is one of the best ways to use weak armor with Endure. Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, that's literally just Shell Smash, essentially. If they use a physical move on you, you get a Shell Smash boost that turn. If they use a super effective physical move, rather. And Endure means you can live it no matter what. So that's really, really great, obviously. And something else excellent that they have is, like I said, Strength Step. And I actually gave them Strength Step much earlier than other Pokemon get Strength Step because I felt that they kind of needed that bulky, like, they were kind of underwhelming, in my opinion, because they don't get Shell Smash until later on. Although they do get Shell Smash much earlier than other Pokemon. Most other Pokemon get it at like 65 or 70. But Omastar gets it almost 10 levels earlier at 60 because it's like, it's Omastar. I think they should get Shell Smash earlier. And that also gives them a lot more viability with Sturdy or Weak Armor. You can actually run like Sash, Weak Armor, Shell Smash sets. Oh god, that's a fucking tongue twister. Shell Smash sets. There we go. That was hard. Um, and again, Rock Polish sets are great because they boost your accuracy as well. So you can use that with Focus Blast, Hydro Pump, Sludge Wave, and Muddy Water, and Whirlpool. All these inaccurate moves become 100% accurate. I also gave them better coverage. They already had pretty solid coverage. They had Water Rock and Dual Stab is already good. And then they had Earth Power and Blizzard and slash Ice Beam, but I ended up giving them Focus Blast and Giga Drain and Signal Beam and all these other good moves as well. Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb, that kind of stuff. Venice Shock. They also have some good utility like Parting Shot, Toxic Spikes, Aqua Ring, like I said, for healing. Spikes is a niche, but it's there. Siphon gives up 100% of the HP dealt, so early game that can be really useful, or just in general, if you want the bug type coverage and you don't want to use Single Beam, you can use Siphon. It's weak, it's only 45 base power, but you heal all the damage you deal, versus Giga Drain is 75 base power, but you heal half the damage you deal. And 75 divided by 2 is over 45, so you do heal more with Siphon than you would with Giga Drain. The difference being the type coverage you get there. Siphon is obviously more of an early game move for most Pokemon, but it's still really great to keep on the like bulkier mons like Omastar. You could even run both on an Assault Vest set if you wanted to. That also, speaking of that, their bulk is much better. I mean, 70, 140, 85 was really, really solid. They're going to be tanking physical hits for sure. Otherwise, they have Withdraw, which gives +1 to both of your defenses. You can use that really nicely. You have Tickle and Haze is great for totems. Bubble Barrage hits 3 times and it lowers speed by 3. So not only does it bypass like Focus Sash and Pasho Berry and all that other crap, but it also, and Sturdy and all these other abilities and items, it also lowers speed by 3, meaning even with only 40 or 55 base speed, you're probably outspeeding whatever's in front of you when they're at -3 speed, so that's really useful. And then you have Iron Defense or Withdraw with Strength Sap. Oh, Strength Sap heals so much. It's so good. Super, super bulky, super. It also makes Omastar much bulkier each time you use it, so that's a really great thing. And before you get Strength Sap, you have Reliable Recovery with Aqua Ring as well. And then you also have Tickle, which is great, and Spiky Shield is kind of niche, but it fits really well, so I threw it on there just for potential use. Ancient Power is 60 base power, 10 PP, and there's a 15% chance that you boost all your stats by 1. So you have Dual Stab with a 50% chance to boost your stats, being Water Pulse and Ancient Power. Although later on you obviously get better versions. You get Torrential Pulse, which is the same percent chance to boost your stats, but it's 90% accurate and 105 base power. But then you have Power Gem, which has a 25% chance to boost your special attack by 1, which is really, really useful. Diamond Storm was kind of a reach on them, so I didn't throw it on there, although it would have been nice if they could have it. It's too weird. Excuse me, I yawned, sorry. I shouldn't try to talk while I yawn. It just seemed kind of weird. I didn't really see it, so I didn't throw it on there. Power Gem is really good anyways, so they don't need Diamond Storm anyways. Like I said, I already listed all the good coverage. Not too much else to talk about, really. These guys are very self-explanatory. Shell Smash is obviously fucking amazing with 30, with 150 special attack, 55 speed. I can talk about the speed tiers. So if you're running a neutral nature, 0 speed investment Omastar, you're not really that fast after +2, but if you run max speed investment, you are outspeeding a shitload. So you can just tailor, and this is with a neutral nature. If you got a plus speed nature, you're super quick. You don't even really need to run that much investment at all. So for example, let's just find out. Oh, I also have to add these guys to the speed tier. Let me do those real quick. 40 and 55. I added Porygon-Z and all those guys before, as you can see here. 40. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, you can really speed creep with infinite EV training and infinite ability capsules. You can really customize your sets for every fight, and with all of the move tutors and all that shit, like you really should be customizing your sets mostly. You shouldn't just be keeping the same thing all the time. Unless you want to, more power to you. If you want to get the most leverage out of your stuff, then you're gonna want to do that. We found Omastar now. 55 is where it is. Sorry. Yeah, there's not too much else to talk about, really. I mean, Shell Smash is amazing. You have good coverage with Mud Bomb as well, which is stronger than Earth Power. The only downside being is 10% inaccurate, but it always lowers speed, so pick and choose your. And also, Earth Power is very teachable, but Mud Bomb is really powerful. Don't get me wrong. You also have Mud Shot and also Bubble Shot as priority, which is useful. You can just run specs with Bubble Shot and just kill shit. Obviously, I mean, there's better, stronger mons to do that, but it's still nice to have it on the slower mon. Mudshot is coverage. That's priority as well. Typically only give Mudshot to ground types, but you know, there's a couple that I'll make exceptions for. Omastar, I think, kind of needs it, so let's throw it on there. I mean, I already got Mudshot, but you know what I mean. Something else that's really interesting is Z Reflect type. So what Z Reflect type does is it gives you +1 to all of your stat. What the hell did? What the fuck? I swear to God, I copy pasted it. Z Reflect type gives you +1 to all your stats. While that's not that groundbreaking with speed, that is super great with your bulk and your special attack. So you can run a bulky Z Reflect type set, and you can actually like copy their type on purpose. So for example, you can Z Reflect type become a pure poison type or something. It's a bit situational, but it's useful to have nonetheless. Just gotta be smart with it, you know. Sorry, this is being annoying. Alright, let's get enough, whatever. And this is to be plus times 3. 3 of these guys. Take a sip of my water real quick. But yeah, 55 at +2 is super quick, is my point. Go back now. Also, another reason, because technically you could argue, oh, well, keeping Swift Swim isn't that bad because Kabutops is physical, meanwhile Omastar is special. And that is a fair point. But Swift Swim makes no fucking sense. The Pokedex literally says they died because they cannot. Look, it literally says right here that its shell makes it so it can't reach the food. That's why it went extinct, because of how fucking bad it was at swimming. That's why it died. That's why these fuckers went extinct. So how does it swim fast? I hate that. It makes no sense. Weak armor makes sense because the idea is your shell is breaking when you get hit, which is why you become faster and lose a little bit of bulk. Same thing with Shell Smash. So those are fine, but I don't see Swift Swim whatsoever. Regardless, man, I really wish I could make them physical, but there's no justifying it because all of the other ones are physical besides Corsola. So there's 6 water rock types if you guys are curious. There's Corsola, Relican, Caracosta, Omastar, Kabutops, and Barbaracle. 2 of those are like super offensively oriented and quick, and then there's like, you know, the bulkier tanky ones, and then there's like the super bulky like defensive ones, and blah 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 blah. But yeah, Omastar's tanky, but it's still really strong, and it can also be super quick with a But like I said, Strength Sap with all of these utility moves is really excellent. Shell Smash last week armor sets are great. I already talked about the Endure stuff you can do. Like it might seem underwhelming on first glance, but it's not. It is very reliable, very solid, very strong. Very customizable as well. Just with these 2 buddies. Also, just having Sturdy is nice, like just to live hits, man. Like you can just pivot that in and get a free fucking hit off for guaranteed. And you can use Sturdy with pinch berries as well. So you could use Sturdy plus Pataya, or you can use Sturdy Pataya plus Strength Sap, and you know, do stuff like that. And that's really fun and useful. You know, your brain is the only limiter in terms of strategies you can use with Sturdy and weak armor and all of these awesome utility moves it has access to. Like I said, Reflect type is really interesting. You can change it to a random type of whatever's in front of you. So let's say you're fighting a fucking Porygon 2 and you're faster than them because you're running speed investment, and you outspeed the Porygon 2 and you use Z Reflect type on it, and then they collect an electric move and now it's resisted. So now you get a free +1 defense, special attack, special defense, and speed, and obviously attack, which is useless usually. I mean, you can actually technically run physical sets on Shell Smash or Weakness Policy sets. You can run mixed because you do get valuable coverage, although you already get Giga Drain for the special side. So also the logic of Giga Drain is the same logic as Strength Sap, if you're wondering. The fact that they suck the life out of their prey. Yeah, I think that's about it. Not too much else to talk about with these guys. It's pretty straightforward. Doesn't mean it's bad. They're super good, super reliable. Ammonite is reliable and strong and good and easy to use, and it evolves at level 32, which should be just in time for Olivia, which is really nice, but it still gives you time to actually get use out of the fossils because, yeah, like you can still use them as the baby forms a little bit, which is cool. Yeah, I think that's about it, y'all. Not too much to talk about for these ones. Not to say that they're bad, they're really cool. I like Omastar, super chill guy. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back probably tomorrow for another video. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening rather. So. Rooftops and an Aerodactyl coming up. I'm excited for those 2 as well. And we're almost done, man. We literally only have the 2 fossils, Snorlax, the birds, Dragonite, and Mew. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back soon.